Paul Harris filling in for McGraw this morning. For several years, there's been talk in the St. Louis area of combining or merging St. Louis City and St. Louis County. And there are pluses and minuses, and debates have been going on for quite a while, but a lot of it is going to come down to simple dollars, as do so many things in life. Well, a group called Better Together has completed a study of the public finance in the city and the county and the municipalities and all the rest. And here to talk about what they've come up with in this study is Dave Leipholtz, who's the Director of Community-Based Studies at Better Together. Dave, welcome to the Big 550.
Paul, thanks for having me.
Before we talk about what you found, your group is of no opinion about whether it's a good idea for the county and the city to merge, right?
Correct. We are a 501c3 organization, and we're meant solely to inform the public on what we think is important data. Because for years, like you said, there's been this discussion on whether or not our municipal structure, how things are set up, is the most efficient way to deliver services.
Okay.
But that conversation never really produced anything because there hasn't been that bare bones data with the numbers that's gathered, because it's been such an immense amount of data to gather. And we've done that. It's now available at our website, bettertogetherstl.com, where you can go and search all the financial information for the 90 municipalities, 23 fire districts, city and county. And you can also go to the source documents where we got that information and search through those as well.
Okay. I know you can't have an opinion, but you can have a conclusion. And what conclusion did you come to?
So the conclusion of this study, and of many of our studies, is just going to be, by and large, general information so that the people can decide. I'm the director of the community-based studies, which is a little bit different process in that normally this is done by bringing in consultants from out of town who talk to the same 10 to 12 people in each city, it seems like. And with this, we actually want the people to be part of the study as opposed to rolling out results and saying, here you go. Mm-hmm. Because that way the community is invested in it. They have their say. They're the ones who are stakeholders in this. And so it's a little bit different of a process.
Okay. One of the things that people in the county are worried about is that if there were a merger, the county would be forced to take on the debts of St. Louis City.
And that's a common concern that we heard and a question that a lot of people had. And so as part of this study, we had Bill Keeling and Kenny Halsoff from Paulsonelli issue an opinion, or a memorandum, I should say, on that. And what they concluded was the law clearly points to the fact that that would not happen. The city is always going to be responsible for its debts, for its liabilities, for pension liability, which I know is also a concern, and not impact the county sales tax pool. It's such a nuanced system that is set up that the county or the city would not enter and pay into it, nor would they get anything out of it. So that was an important conclusion as well, because we thought that those would be non-starters for a dialogue, and we want to facilitate the actual dialogue in the community.
So then what is the upside of the merger?
Well, I think that it has to do a lot with how people outside see us, and also, like you said before, dollars. If we can deliver services in a more efficient way and get rid of duplicative services, if we can streamline that and let people save a little bit of their money, I think it breaks down to over $1,500 in tax dollars goes to municipal services per person. So if you're a 4-person household, that's over $6,000 a year that's being spent on your behalf. And if there's a way to reduce that, I think people are going to be for that.
And reducing it by increasing the numbers of people who are being served by merging, that's the idea?
You can do that. Yeah, it's an economies of scale. And those are the exact issues we're going to look at in our next 5 studies that will roll out, that look at everything from public safety to parks and recreation to public health and things of that sort.
What is the political timeline for this? I know you're continuing to do studies, but in the reality of the merger possibly happening or not happening, where are we?
Well, that is something I can honestly say hasn't even been part of our dialogue in terms of our group. This process will be a year-long process and will probably go into the beginning of 2015. So I would say that if anybody was going to do something before then, it would be premature, because I think this is going to unveil a lot of really important information and allow people to have their say about it.
As you're digging up numbers from these 90 different municipalities, do you come across things that make you say, whoa, where'd that come from?
There are certain things that are different because each municipality also kind of does things a little bit differently. But we try to warn people that it isn't necessarily a project that's designed to compare Webster to Wildwood or things like that, because there are differences in municipalities. Some of them provide fire protection, some of them don't. So it's not always an apples to apples comparison. And I know that was a concern of some municipalities as well, was people are going to compare us and not recognize the differences. But really, this is meant to look at the aggregate number and how we spend for services in the St. Louis and city and county.
And you were able to get past that and get all the numbers from everybody? They finally all cooperated?
The municipalities actually, by and large, I would say 99% were fantastic about it.
Dave Leipholtz is Director of Community-Based Studies at Better Together. You can see the study and the results at bettertogetherstl.com. Dave, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
7:58 at the Big 550 KTR.